Orioles fans, check it out. The very charismatic Sloane Johnson back with us. I am so happy. She, from what I understand, is so bored. Can't say I blame her. Getting used to life without Adley Rutschman and where we go from here. For the brilliant Michael Sullivan, the handsome Matt Faulkner, Joe Rossano's Orioles Report is next. Welcome to Joe Rossano's Orioles Report. With us today, and we are all honored and privileged, as should you be, O's fans. We have the very charismatic Sloane Johnson. We are talking TikTok around the bases _ Instagram around the bases _ for some terrific analysis, folks. I'm telling you, check Sloane out, Sloane Johnson. Thank you for this time.
Thanks for having me again. Glad to be back.
We're thrilled to have you. So, Sloane, now there has been some time now. Some time has passed since we traded our old friend Adley Rutschman.
Mm-hmm.
You, if I'm not mistaken, were not particularly in favor of trading Adley Rutschman. Am I wrong?
No, I was not. And that's just because, he was supposed to be the guy who started it all, the faced franchise when he came up. He really was the start of the turnaround, and he's been with us since then. So it's more like, the, emotional connection in terms of how he actually played, which he played good too, obviously, but that was more the hard part for me.
Sloane, what do you say to the critics who say that Adley Rutschman's reputation, all things Adley Rutschman as an individual, how his performance on the field did not live up to what we all thought when we thought of Adley Rutschman, a 1-1 draft pick, Golden Spikes Award winner, supposed to take us to World Series glory. His best year was 275, 20 home runs, 80 RBI in 2023. Some critics say as well he went to the All-Star game this season because somebody had to represent the Orioles, so Adley was about as good as any. Sloane, was the Adley aura, the Adley Rutschman persona, was his play on the field, did it live up to that?
I think, I know we had pretty high expectations, same thing with Gunnar and all these other prospects that we had coming up. I think people have to remember that he's a switch hitting catcher. So that's very valuable. I think, I don't know what he was supposed to live up to, but I think he lived up to pretty high expectations. I mean, he was hurt a lot, so that definitely hindered his performance. But I do think that he is only getting better from his injuries. And I mean, we saw last night in his Red Sox debut, he had a single, 2 walks, ground out. So I don't know. I think that he's still a pretty valuable person on the field to have. And I think he, in terms of defense, plays a good game. He frames well. He's been throwing out a lot more runners this year. And I just think he calls a good game too. And then for the All-Star thing, I was kind of surprised that he was the All-Star too. I thought at the time it could be Rico Garcia maybe. Obviously that has changed now. I thought maybe they'd go with Alonso because, first year with us. But, I mean, I think Adley deserved it more than some of the other options. So I think it was fine.
I use the term bust for the rebuild, and I will give you my reasons, and then I would love your opinion. The rebuild was Austin Hayes, right? Cedric Mullins. Then they bring up this White Knight, this hi-ho silver away guy, Adley Rutschman. And then you got this guy, Gunnar, in the minor leagues. I think his name's Gunnar. Colton, some guy named Westberg. And then they magically win 100 games, Sloane Johnson. And that is before this new superstar, Matt Holliday's son, Jackson Holliday, was even on the team. He was on the way. So it would give even an analyst like myself, somebody who lives and breathes this stuff, I thought this team was supposed to win for like 7 or 8 years. Now, Rutschman is gone now. Okay. That was supposed to be the cornerstone. Would you say that the rebuild that Mike Elias put together from 2019 on is a bust? Am I going too far there?
No, I would definitely agree with that. I mean, most of those players are either hurt or not with us anymore. I mean, we don't have Mullins, we don't have Hayes, obviously Adley. Gunnar is not Gunnar right now. Holiday is still figuring some stuff out, but he's getting better. Yeah, I was looking forward to going to the playoffs consistently. Like you said, like 7 years in a row. And then we had this great season, got to the playoffs, won the division, and then got swept out of the playoffs, which was disappointing. And the next year, when we made the wild card, still a good team, started cooling off a little bit towards the end there, but still made the playoffs and then got swept again by the Royals. So, yeah, I definitely don't think that's what Elias was going for with the rebuild. And I think with what we've seen him do now, kind of, shipping them all away, reloading the minors with prospects, I would definitely say he's thinking the rebuild is a bust and trying to. I know he says it's not a rebuild, but that's what it looks like to fans. So,
Yeah, I mean, people will argue. My co-host, the brilliant Michael Sullivan, the brilliant Dr. Michael Sullivan, will say that when you got Pete Alonso and Gunner and people like that it's not a rebuild anymore. Like next year, the team is definitely supposed to compete. When you got Bradish, when you have Boz, when you have Brandon Young, who has pitched extremely well this season. Let me ask you a Gen Z question. Do the best you can here. Okay, I'm an old man. I'm way out of it. Most of the stuff my daughter says, I got no idea what she means. All right, except it's a good idea, for me never to give anyone the it. Other than that, that's pretty much all I know. Sloan, you know, the Orioles, such as Jackson Holiday and Gunnar Henderson and Dylan Beavers, are your age.
mhm.
Lo and behold, that's how old I am. Are these guys freaked out in some capacity? I mean, is something in these guys' heads? How does every single one of them come to the Orioles and end up stalling? I mean, Gunnar Henderson has stalled. Dylan Beavers is, I guess he's okay. Jackson Holiday doing better, but the number one prospect in all of baseball. It just seems like, these guys came here and stalled. And then when they get shipped out, Kyle Stowers goes to the All-Star game. Brian Baker goes to the All-Star game. I mean, these folks end up better than they were when they were here. I mean, again, is it, they're young guys and they're freaking out? What do you say is what do you see as a problem with someone with those guys in your age range? Maybe you know something I don't.
Well, that's one of the things I always think. Like all these pitchers that we trade, like Kramer the other day, he was, 7 innings, one hit. So, I knew that was going to happen when we traded him.
Oh, didn't I? I knew it too.
And I don't know if that's, I can't say for sure. Like, I don't know what the pitching coaches are like in Baltimore. I don't know what the hitting coaches are like. I don't know how the players get along with them, how they mesh with them. So I can't say, for sure if that's a reason why they kind of stall here. But in terms of like age, I know Basayo is 21, so he's a year younger than me. And he's definitely, we've seen it in games. He's still a little bit emotional, immature, which is fine, but like he kind of is still too emotional where he'll like break his bat over his leg, which, not a great example to set.
I forgot about that. Yep.
I was at that game that he did that actually. But so that was funny. But I don't know if they're freaked out so much. I think, and I have been saying this all year, I think Gunnar is so in his head. I think he knows that the fans are not happy. And I'm sure the team is not happy with what's been going on with them, last year really taking a giant step back. And I think that now that all these people are getting traded, and especially now with Adley getting traded, I think he kind of puts a lot of pressure on himself. I think he thinks he has to be the guy that holds everything together, even though there's Alonso now who really has kind of been outspoken as a leader in the clubhouse. But I mean, Gunner's been here for way longer, so he's obviously going to have that role as well. And I mean, we've seen it in at bats. He's definitely in his head swinging at things he would never swing at. You know, chase rate is up. But yeah, I don't know. I can't say for the rest of them, but I definitely know Gunner's in his head.
Now, let me ask you this, Sloane. Is he in his head or does he just not want to be here? I mean, some critics, I always get back to the critics, it's all over the internet. Gunnar is checked out, said Joe Rossano. Gunnar wants out, etc. Does he? I mean, does it seem he wants out or does he look just like he's just ticked off that he's playing bad and that the team's losing?
I mean, as much as people, or maybe not as much now, but people want him to stay here long term, get extended. We know his agent is Boris, and that's never going to happen. He's going to test out free agency. And I have seen all the rumors about him like wanting out, saying he's having issues with the coaching staff. You know, I don't know how true that is, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think he loves Baltimore. I think he loves the team. I think he wants to make the fans happy, wants to win here. But I mean, obviously he sees that it's not working and maybe he is frustrated with the coaching staff. And I think it said feeling stuck here or something. And we know he was upset about I mean, that's like his best friend, Adley getting traded. He couldn't even talk about it. So I think he's more frustrated with himself right now. I don't think he necessarily wants out. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did go somewhere else and become the Gunnar Henderson that we all know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I have said, okay, that, hey, Gunnar wants 250, 300 million, right? I'm wrong, I think. And this doesn't happen often, Sloane. So you get to witness this. He wants 400 or 500 million. He
Yeah.
really does. He wants $500 million. And let me tell you what's significantly worse than that. That wasn't bad enough. He'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give the Dodgers will give it to him. The Yankees will give it to him. They really will. Just, I don't know. Gunnar Henderson. I mean, in my opinion, Sloane, doesn't have to be yours. Good looking guy, has a good jaw, has a pretty fiance. That means he's got confidence. Does he get 400 or 500 million, Sloane Johnson?
Yeah, I think he will. I think there's teams that are gonna give it to him. They're gonna want a star shortstop, a blockbuster. They're gonna figure something out.
Gunnar Henderson, free agent after the 2028 season. That's what I'm tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gone, right? He's gone. I think that now the Orioles may do better next season. I think they're going to. I think I think their gums are bleeding.
Yeah.
So you might have to Google that. I'm just kidding. I always say that to Matt Faulkner. He loves it. Sloane, David Rubenstein came out recently and said, look, hey, I'm embarrassed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a trillionaire like him, you don't like to be embarrassed, right?
No.
So I do. What I think next season, I think he gets a pitcher for $300 million. I really do. I think he's crazy enough to do it. I think he's going to get a player, an outfielder, somebody like that. He's going to give them 200 million, right? I think he will. I really do. So the Orioles, in my opinion, are going to be better next season. Having Helsley come back and Felix Bautista, not going to hurt. Matter of fact, if Felix Bautista comes back in September and Helsley, I am dying to see the back end of this bullpen with Yamir Cano. I'm dying to see it, right? Even Kittredge hasn't pitched that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think if the Orioles are in contention next season, I don't think they trade Gunnar at the deadline with a season and a half of control. Okay. But I do think that they do trade Gunnar either in the off season after 2027, going into 2028, or the trade deadline at 2028. 28, even though he would be a rental. Whoever they trade him to is probably going to pay him. But are we seeing the last seasons of Gunnar Henderson involved?
I mean, you don't want to think so. It doesn't feel like it, but that's what I was thinking with Rutschman too. And it almost feels inevitable at this point. I mean, we have a lot of good prospects in Chesapeake and Norfolk, so I don't know. I just don't see him staying here. I don't. He's going to test free agency if he doesn't get traded, and he's going to, get the money he wants somewhere else.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be here, which is a
Yeah.
shame, Sloane Johnson. I wanted Adley and Gunner and
Hmm.
Westberg and Cowser. I wanted those guys to win, for crying out loud. I really thought they were, when they won 100 games and then Jackson Holiday on his way, Corbin Burns.
Hmm.
I just I can't believe they didn't win a World Series. I really thought they were going to. But, my wife were here, she would tell you that was the first mistake I made. I thought, at the end of the day, let's move to where we are right now. Orioles, I believe, 4 games under 500. I think are they 2 games
Yeah.
out? Are they 3 games out? They're 2 games out.
Yeah. Hmm.
2 games out. All right. Now, let's look at something positive for once. All right. Because people say you're negative, Rosano. You're negative. That's what they say to me, like my friends say I'm negative.
I
Uh,
mean, there's not much to be
yeah.
positive.
Thank you, Sloane. I'm going to refer them to Sloane from now on. You got Trevor Rogers. You got Kyle Bradish. You got Brandon Young going today. All right. You got Shane Boz, who 3.79 ERA. That is a CEERA, a close enough ERA. All right. You have Gunner, you have Holiday, you got Alonso, right? I mean, you got Calzer, you got Beavers. It's not like, hey, we don't have anybody, and it's 2021 Rio Ruiz.
Hmm.
All right, we have some studs still, if you will, Sloan. Do they make the postseason or not a chance? I mean, your honest opinion.
I think it kind of sucks that we're so close to a spot right now because we shouldn't be. The AL is just that bad this year. But I mean, I want to have hope because it looks like we can. I just don't see it happening. We've been between like 5 and 2 games under 500 for a couple months now and haven't gone beyond that. We've only won, I think, 5 games in a row. We won the 7 games in a row, but I think we've only won 5 games in a row, like once, twice, maybe. So
Yeah.
I don't see them being consistent enough to go on a run and the other teams not to.
And I'm not sure you got to Google this with Sloan Johnson, but it's this Jekyll and Hyde thing, right? I mean, you watch the Orioles like last night, they're phenomenal. Day
Hmm.
before, they were horrible. 4 days ago, they were tremendous. 2 days ago, they were horrible. I mean, it's just this. You are right. You hit the nail right on the head, Sloan Johnson, the charismatic Sloan Johnson. They're just too freaking inconsistent. I just don't understand it. Why they just can't get just to a level and stay there. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they have to win 25 in a row, but they should win 5 in a row and then lose a game, then win 2 in a row and lose a game, then win 3 in a row and lose a game. You see where I'm coming from?
Hmm.
Not win 4, lose 6, and then win 2, and then lose 4, and then win 4, and then lose 5. I mean, that's driving me crazy. It probably explains a lot about me. Again, at the end of the day, Sloan Johnson, we are finishing out the series today in Minnesota and then off to Tampa. What say you for the rest of this road trip?
Yeah. I mean, I hope we can win today. I don't know because Boz is pitching and we never give him any run support. His last outing, I was so mad about that.
Oh my God.
How
It's
are
a
you gonna go
complete freaking game.
8 innings? Yeah. But hopefully we'll win today because going on to Tampa, they've won 8 in a row. are not going to be easy. I know we swept them last time we played them, but we got swept the time before that. So I'm nervous about that. Then we come home, play the Yankees, then we play Tampa again. While the Rangers, who have the last wild card spot right now, I don't know if it's a 4-game series against the Angels, and then they play the A's, I think.
Of course.
Yeah. And I hope they can just stay consistent. The starting pitching really hasn't been the issue, which is surprising. It's been the offense. And I think, it can't go unnoticed that whenever Gunnar has a good game, they win. He really is the key, especially if they're going to keep, having him hit leadoff. I think that's a good option because he sets the tone. If he gets on base, he's a base running threat. And I just think every time he has a good game, 2 hits, 3 hits, they win. So I don't know. I'm nervous about the Rays because I feel like their pitching is just so good and our offense is not.
It is. And guys go there, and Nick Martinez, Brian Baker, and somehow turn into Cy Young Award winners. Let's take a look, Sloane Johnson, at the upcoming schedule here for the Orioles. We then off for the weekend for the Rays, what they call a wraparound series. That is extends beyond Sunday into Monday. Okay, so we got the Rays. Then we got the Yankees. Okay, and then we got the Rays again. And then the Cardinals, who were another good team. And then we have the Athletics and the Rockies before we see the Red Sox. Okay. And then the Guardians. And then the Blue Jays. So, again, I imagine that you and the folks got the picture. But, yeah, at the end of the day, they're playing the Angels and the Athletics. You can't predict baseball. They could lose 7 out of 8.
Yeah.
Of course, we have that to look forward to, and everybody else is playing, again, teams under 500, and we're playing teams that are vying for playoff positions, or almost 30 games above 500 are the Rays. I got to tell you, what I would do, okay, is I would infiltrate the Rays front office or their team. All right, I'd get hired as a special assistant, undercover, Sloane, and find out what the heck they're doing over there and model my team after it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to tell you, God bless them, they're doing something right. Once again, folks, we're talking to Sloane Johnson, very charismatic Sloane Johnson. You can check her out on Instagram, on TikTok, around the bases _ She's one of the best analysts out there. I watch her every day, and we are just always so happy to have her. Please don't forget to subscribe, click like, share, comment, click the notification bell for our latest episodes of Joe Rossano's Orioles Report. Friday, I will be back with Matt Faulkner for Birdland Mailbag. That's 1 p.m. on Friday. Sloane Johnson, as always, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And the folks, they love Sloane Johnson. That's what they tell us, by the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, folks, if you get the opportunity, please adopt yourself a pet. For the brilliant Michael Sullivan, the handsome Matt Faulkner, Sloane Johnson, I am Joe Rossano. God bless you, O's fans, and we will see you next time.